Hey everyone, I'm Neil, a typical dude making stuff with his hands, and today we are doing something way out of left field, and I don't mean just saying the word stuff. An attempt to try something I have never ever tried before, and that is polymer clay.
Pitching, baseball, a tennis.
More specifically, a food monster that quite possibly will give you the most ridiculous, absurd, and terrifying nightmares
of your wildest dreams.
Sorry, just having a little fun with the pitch shifter there. It's kind of fun, actually.
You can make your voice go way high like this, or
Way low
Like this.
Okay, so we're nearly 45 seconds in and we still have no idea what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do is take your classic Dungeons and Dragons monster, the Mimic, and make it into a birthday cake.
Hey guys.
So I noticed there's a strangely odd lack of birthday cake monster references on the interwebs, so I went into ZBrush and tried to make my own and came up with this guy. I think it's pretty good. Nice little mix of cutesy and Beelzebub. Sprinkles! So to start this project out with a bang, I figured sprinkles.
Disappointed!
Now the question you might be asking yourself is, Neil, why don't you just use real sprinkles? And the answer to that is, I don't know. But the bigger question you should be asking yourself is, Neil, why are you making monsters at all? They're scary. And the answer to that question is because of my previous video that I had been working on. Actually, if you haven't seen that yet, go check that out. But we're making a really creepy scene in there, and I figured this is the perfect way to like amp that up times 1,000. Alright, so it's time to ditch the sprinkles and move on to our monster's voluptuous body. Now I thought vanilla would be a good way to go, then I realized I don't have much of this vanilla color. Also, the stuff sticks to my cutting mat like crazy, so parchment paper is your friend. Now for a delicious filling between the layers of cake, we're gonna go with none other than a juicy, gooey, delicious strawberry filling. But wait, Neil, you don't like strawberry? Of course I do. The problem is vanilla. We don't have enough. Bad vanilla. How dare you not be enough? Because we got lots of green, so we're not going to see it. So why not use green? And oh man.
I've heard people say that too much of anything is not good for you, baby. But I don't know about that.
Okay, I knew cutting into clay was satisfying, but dang. So we have the green base. Now again, we're not going to be seeing that. I'm going to put on our cherry layer here, and this is actually going to act as the inside of the mouth as well. So this will be the perfect color for that. Now we just need the proper sculpting tool. Now I'm sure there's a proper name for these things, but I'm going to call them ball sticks. Ball stylus, maybe they're styluses. I don't know. We're just going to use the ball tool to shape his mouth. You can see he does a great job. And yeah, that's a mouth. Now you're going to be noticing me using these wet naps or wet wipes that are typically used for like baby bums. But honestly, they work amazingly well for what we've got going on here. Honestly, I don't know why we went there. What I'm going to be doing here is mixing some colors together to make a really cool little flower type thing using my Smokin' Hot wife's icing kit, to which she totally gave me permission to use for polymer clay, which is absolutely easy to clean. Yeah. Gosh dang it, that is almost as beautiful as her. So if this happens to be your first rodeo working with polymer clay, as it was for me, I find baking the stuff in stages is absolutely the way to go. So now that we have that main body all baked, we don't have to worry about that warping or fingerprints as we're getting this guy's, you know, like skin on. Kind of creepy. And look at that. He's turning into a cute little mouth, which is great. It's kind of what we're going for. So we're going to work on his, I guess you'd call these brains. It's going to be like the inside of the top of his head. Got some sprinkles mixed in. We're going to make that all nice and fluffy and cake-like. Look how smooth that is. I'm telling you, those wet naps. But yes, we're going to fluff it up using our little knife at some point. Now we're just rolling some purple clay. Now I'm really getting lost here. We got Oh boy, I think I just gotta stop. The tongue. Yes, the tongue. So we are making the tongue out of our purple flesh, and I think we were talking about his brains earlier. You'll see some fluffing going on there, but there is a tongue. Amazing, I know. Now, I've got these super cool pink sparkles. Now, what birthday cake doesn't have sparkles, let alone pink? I mean, no birthday cake if it's a special one. Now, I'm actually going to be using these as well to make his teeth. You'll see we got some liquid Sculpey, and I mix it in with the sprinkles themselves, or sparkles. And then from there we add some transparent clay, and we shape these into itty bitty sharp little daggers of death. And with our adorable little viper fangs all baked and hardened, we can now attach them to our cake mouth. We're going to be using the same kind of cherry-like clay for the gum line, and this is where we're going to be sticking our teeth into. I did find that actually dipping the tooth first into the liquid Sculpey really helped to make these teeth stick into that gum line, and especially for the baking process, it does an excellent job for gluing those in and making them nice and solid. And here we go. So now is the fluffing of the brains. So this is going to give it that really nice cake look, that kind of bubbly, air pocketed, fluffy cakiness that you see when you cut open a cake. So I'm just kind of swirling the knife tip around in little circles, making little crumbs, and then adding extra sprinkles on top of that. So if we harken back to the initial 3D design, you'll see I wanted a multi-layered type of cake. So now this is the level of cake that's going to have a slice taken right out of it. So I'm using the vanilla colored clay here, like I had planned initially to use on the bottom layer. But this is the layer we're going to have the slice out of. And you can see I kind of ruined this thing with the icing. It's hard to tell right now, but it just comes out too orange, as you'll see later. But here is the vanilla interior of this piece of cake, and again I just fluffed it up using my knife. So yeah, this guy needs eyeballs, and he still has his brains showing there. I figured a layer of fondant, aka icing, is the way to go for that. For the eyeballs, I was considering going nice and realistic, but instead I just went with these. So we're gonna throw on his little bonnet here. Aw, look at that. He's like a cute little babushka. Now our little granny bonnet is what's gonna make his eyebrows and kind of give him that mean, nasty monster look. Now we still gotta make this guy look pretty. He is a birthday cake after all. So we got some little embellishments there. I'm also kind of thickening up the top of the gum line there to mold around those teeth a little better. And then comes the hands and the feet. So I decided marshmallow is the way to go. And you can see I'm using sandpaper, which provides the perfect kind of marshmallowy texture. We'll quickly throw an arm together here. The wire that we saw earlier, yes, it is for the arms. I don't have actual armature wire for sculpting, but I just use these. They seem to work just fine. Now for some very fashionable attire, I figured the best thing to do would be to add some sweatbands and headbands straight from the 80s. Oh yeah. Now here's our old cake. Again, for the top, didn't match up, so we're chucking that guy to the side, and I instead made this one. And I also went out and got some proper colored liquid sculpting mold. Now we're gonna go into ice cream cones. I needed a texture for that, so I thought, why not my window screen? It worked okay. It's kind of the lazy man's way of doing things, but hey, it got the job done. Throw in some ice cream on the ends, give it a little bit of pigment on these guys to make them look ice cream coney. And then we're just gonna chuck him on his head. First his hat, then the ice cream cones, which actually turned out pretty gnarly looking. This guy is looking pretty intense now. He needed some nostrils. I decided to make some little gun drops here. And then it's some final embellishments. I'm gonna use the liquid Sculpey for some saliva dripping out of his mouth and off the end of his tongue, and it just looks so cool, so good. And the marshmallow technique worked out so good for the hands, I decided maybe just a little slightly bigger marshmallows for his feet and collar. Good enough. Now, because the icing initially turned out so transparent for his head, I decided to add a little bit of chalk into there, some blue chalk, but it's okay. It turned out darker than this, but still not too bad. So in preparation for this video, I've been watching a lot of North of the Border. He does these absolutely crazy builds out of clay, and I got this saliva technique from him. It's this tacky glue called Fabri-Tac. I got some stuff called Styro Glue from Hotwire Foam Factory. Does the same thing. It just works so good for slobber. Now this guy, we're gonna repurpose him. This guy's gonna be a little cuter and less ugly than our other guy. But yeah, he's got some balls and, not balls, what is this? Globs of icing. Just globs of icing. Forget about the balls. Stop it. Stop. All right, and with that, I think we are done. So I just want to give a big thank you to all my patrons who support the channel. Without you guys, this would not be here, quite literally. So thank you so much to all of you. And here we are. I'm going to let the glamour shots speak for themselves. We got a crazy monster here that I never thought I would be kind of doing at all on this channel, but we're going to be adding this into the crazy scenario in the book nook. So go watch the first video and stay tuned for the second. And look at this. If you like these videos, let me know, and maybe we can do some more. Maybe we can go even more realistic, try some other food, try something completely different. Who knows? But let me know what you think in the comments below. And thanks guys for watching. Just you being here goes a really long way in helping support me and the channel. And also, if you watch my sponsored ads, that goes a long way as well. And once again, Idle Siege is the sponsor for this video, so big thank you to them. It's the only idle game that puts you in the role of a siege overseer with stress-free, relaxing gameplay combined with the depth of a strategy game. So after your siege is planned, sit back and relax watching your army cause massive destruction in real time. Your troops will work day and night attacking the enemy fortress. You can unlock epic warriors such as Napoleon, Genghis Khan, Blackbeard, but also Odin, Robin Hood, and many other iconic fictional heroes. And they're actually going to be adding 5 new cool looking commanders, including the historic Might of Sultan Haran and Yi Seong Gai. I'm not sure I pronounced that right. And has a super cool handcrafted cartoon art direction where you can battle on various fantasy cartoon-like lands. And on top of that contains various memorable in-game events. I'd encourage you guys once again to click the special link down below, download the game, and get a special welcome gift after reaching level 4 and claim your reward.